So as y'all know, I made a video yesterday about how the 10 Commandments are now mandatory. They're now mandatory in Louisiana classrooms from K all the way through college. They're losing their minds. From embryos to abortion to the 10 Commandments. I don't know what's going on over there, but they're losing it. Now, Lauren Boebert, of all MAGA gremlins, all MAGA goons, Lauren Boebert has come out in support of this ruling. You can't make this up.
I don't think that it's bad to have something that says honor your father and mother so that you will live a long life. That is the first commandment that has a promise attached to it. I don't think that it's bad to teach children that adultery is something that you should not do. And also listed in the 10 Commandments, thou shalt not steal. And maybe the left and some of these politicians are having a meltdown over having that right there listed in our classrooms, thou shalt not steal, is because government hates competition.
You know, it's really funny that she sits there and talks about how kids need to see this in classrooms. Lauren Boebert, you speak about thou shalt not commit adultery. The man y'all worship in the MAGA movement. The man y'all treat as almost like a demigod. The man y'all have built a statue of. The man that y'all claim to be worshiping in Vegas. That was crazy.
Here in Sunset Park to worship and bring back the greatest president we've ever known in our generation.
That man committed adultery. He cheated on Melania with Stormy Daniels. We know this happened. How is it in your mind that you think you reserve the right to force your religious beliefs on everybody simply because there's really cool stuff in there like don't steal and don't commit adultery? Nice try. But when you put these religious texts within schools, because those aren't the only commandments in there, okay? Those aren't. There's plenty of more religiously themed commandments in there as it pertains to God. The goal here is not just to present really cool little things like don't commit adultery and don't steal and don't kill. You guys are trying to force Christianity down the throats of children. It's funny that you talk about adultery when Donald Trump literally committed adultery, was charged with multiple felonies in connection to that action of adultery because this man sat there and falsified business documents in an attempt to hide the story to influence an election. That man somehow is okay enough to receive your vote? There's nothing Christian about Donald Trump. There is nothing godly about Donald Trump. There is nothing pious about Donald Trump. And yet somehow or another, you all, the MAGA movement, despite being the biggest hypocrites of all, think it your place to force your religious beliefs on us? Lauren Boebert, need I remind you, you were at a theater, vaping, hooping and hollering, wilding, acting a fool. Your man at the time was touching all over your chest in this public space, in this public area. You flipped off. You sucked the middle finger at the people working there when they escorted you out of the facility, out of the venue, because you don't know how to act in public. And you think it's your place, your movement's place, and you think you have the place to tell the American people what religious text should be forced into their children's faces? Excuse me. Live in reality. Y'all are not the ones to tell everyone else how to live, especially not yo ass, and especially not Donald Trump. Now, what's also funny is the fact that you believe the American children need to be taught not to steal through the 10 Commandments. The 10 Commandments is the conduit through which we will convey to the American children not to steal. Lauren Boebert, it is especially not your place to force religious texts into other people's children's faces in an attempt to teach their children not to steal when your kid is stealing all over the place, stealing from people's cars and stealing their credit cards. I'm not really interested in attacking people's families, but when you start supporting political mandates and rulings that force religious texts onto people, and your own family is committing crime left and right, a conversation has to be had. So U.S. Rep. Lauren Boebert's son is facing possible felony charges in string of vehicle break-ins. The oldest son of U.S. Representative Lauren Boebert is suspected of being part of a group of friends who used credit cards stolen from cars to make purchases at gas stations and McDonald's, according to court documents released Wednesday. Okay, so this is just white trash stuff. Gas stations and McDonald's is what y'all are using the credit card. Okay. Tyler Boebert, 18, was identified as a suspect after being spotted in a surveillance video at a gas station store with the group when one of the stolen cars was used for a purchase by someone else, according to his arrest affidavit. He was wearing a hoodie from Shooter's Grill, the restaurant once owned by Lauren Boebert, and was also recognized by police from previous encounters, the document said. The name of the other person using the stolen credit card, believed to be a juvenile, was redacted. Police in the small western Colorado city of Rifle announced Tuesday that Tyler Boebert had been arrested in connection with a recent string of vehicle break-ins and property thefts and was facing possible felony charges of criminal possession of identification documents involving multiple victims and conspiracy to commit a felony. He also faces over 15 additional misdemeanor and petty offenses, police said in a statement. Defense lawyer Peyton Miller told Magistrate Jill McConaughey that prosecutors had agreed for his release without bail, and McConaughey agreed to allow that. No charges have been filed against him. Look, I don't really care about the fact that Lauren Boebert's son is having legal issues. I don't care. It's not my problem. The problem is when you start trying to force your religious beliefs on the American people in the name of honesty and lack of theft and lack of adultery, and yet you all extol and worship and want to install a lying adulterer into the office of the presidency. Your son is constantly committing crimes left and right in Colorado, and yet you think it's your place to force the American people to swallow the 10 Commandments? Stop. Stop. It is not your place to force any of these things on the American people. It just is not. Why this has to be a conversation, I don't understand. Why you all don't understand this, I don't understand. But the problem is, people like her genuinely seem to believe because she's white, Christian, and conservative, somehow or another, she's the model of what America is supposed to be like. No, I'm sorry, but those things just don't matter. You can call yourself Christian, conservative, you could be white, I don't care. You have to actually live that lifestyle for me to believe you. You can call yourself whatever. If you're not actively living that lifestyle, if you're not actively being a faithful, pious, and consistent Christian, I can't rock with you. The man lied about the election being stolen and has done irreparable damage to our democracy, and yet I have yet to hear a lick of criticism from the Christian traditional right about his lying. The man cheated on his wife with Stormy Daniels. I have yet to hear a condemnation from the faithful, pious, God-fearing right. Hello? Hello? What did Jesus say? Let he who is without sin cast the first stone. Worry about yourselves first before trying to force your religious beliefs on the entire country. It doesn't get any more hypocritical than the MAGA movement. These people built a graven image of Donald Trump. They built a statue of the man. These are people who protect statues of slavery. I mean, the fact that these strong Christians even erect statues is crazy. You're not supposed to erect graven images of anything, especially graven images of things in heaven or any divine being. Erecting a statue of Donald Trump is idolatry. They've engaged in this activity. Donald Trump is a liar. Donald Trump is an adulterer. All of these things we know to be true, and yet in spite of the fact that these people brazenly break their own religious texts to fulfill their own political ends, we are the ones who should have the 10 Commandments forced upon us. We are the ones who should submit to their religious will at all times. I reject that, frankly. Please vote blue in November. Get these people up out of Congress, up out of the White House. We are in the most ghetto timeline possible. And it's all because of Donald Trump's MAGA movement. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section below. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm out.